don't know if I'll. As I was saying, hello, my name is Staffy, and this is Staffy Plays Minecraft. Yay. This has been a real pain in the butt to get filmed. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but, you know, I want to give it one last college try before I threw in the towel. And, oh, that's interesting. I can see through my mouth. I didn't notice that before. Anyway, yeah. So what I want to do is do a little base tour, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was my reason for building this server. I mean, building this base. It's just that I kind of wanted to have this idea of like this mad scientist kind of thing meets Victorian mansion. But I wanted to kind of have more of a colorful look than this gothic architecture thing you see. So that's why we got all this foliage around the house. Over the last few years that I've been building on this server, I've been building these little tiny huts, and then I have this large project off to the side, and then I move into it for like the last few weeks, and I said, you know what? Excuse me. No, I want to have the decent house first, for once. And so that's what I did. I built up the decent house first. And so I built the first floor, I dug out the basement, set up this storage room, and I know it looks like organized chaos. It kind of is, but, you know, I have dirt here, I have wood here, I have deep slate there, this is nether stuff over here, this is stone and redstone, red sandstone, this is the random types of other stone you find underground. We got bricks over here, we got ourselves the end stuff, we got ourselves purple over here, that sort of thing, and we have the things you need to process it, and a super smelter in the center, which is sort of like the house's furnace. And on this floor I've got a kitchen area, and of course on the other side we have a potion lab, so I've got all my potions up in here in the cabinets, and I've got my reagents and the redstone, and a cozy little seating area. I've got a place to play all my records, I've got where to put my mob drops, that sort of thing. I have a study where I have all of my valuable ores and iron and such, and I have a map I can look at, and a place where I can do my work if I'm like writing a book or something. Up here we got my solarium, which is basically my indoor greenhouse, and we've got all the living stuff. So we got corals, and we got vines, and we got flowers, and we got mosses, and all that stuff, including all the crimson bayata and orbital bayata, you know, all that wonderful stuff. I've got so much I have a little bit of overflow, which is just, you know, random bits. And of course over here we got ourselves my bedroom. Upstairs hall leads out onto a balcony, because I thought this house should have a balcony. And once upon a time I was going to put a grill up here, but I never did. This is my armory tower, and this is where I keep, like, tools. So, picks, you see, flint and steel, that sort of thing. Down here is where I keep my weapons, like bows and stuff. Got this sword off of a bunch of piglins. You know, the zombie piglins? Yeah. Got two awesome swords combined to make this thing. Sweet beans. But these do have things in them. You know, like, I've been collecting stuff. I'm not saying I didn't. Like, a lot of these I found. Some of them I made. But I have lots of spares. Upstairs, this is just where extra armor is stored. Tried to make some sort of organization before I called it for the excuse me. Called it for the season. And over here we got all my wool, and this is the chromaticarium, so this is also where I put my dyes are. And colored masonry, so that's your terracottas. And, great. Picked the one side that didn't have anything in it. There we go. As you see, we got black concrete, terracotta, that sort of thing. Extra terracotta, you know, even the glazed stuff has a place here. Extra dyes, things of that nature. So you have places for dyes, as you can see. It's all good. Right, that's right. And that's the armory tower. One more upstairs, and I'll show you my house. Got our enchantment area over here. It's got fully stocked with books and lapis, and plenty of bookshelves for your enchanting enjoyment. We got a little bedroom up here for guests, and we also have little suite of rooms over here too. Another bedroom for guests. This is a single bedroom, and then this is another bedroom. I know it's kind of a weird setup, but you know, I've seen weirder things. Here we have our map storage, so I've got like all of that stuff in here, and you know, extra banners and things. And here's where I store all my books in my library. This is the top part of the manor, but we still can go up a little bit more. And then there's a door out here, we go outside, and then you go upstairs on this ladder over here, and you got a widow's walk. This is what that's called. We got like a little widow's walk, and this is actually this lovely gentleman's docking area. More to the point, though, further out of my base, I have lots of things. I tried to make everything farmable here in some format. So we've got trees over here, we've got our netherwort, and we've got all that there. That's the hanging roots. And then underneath all that, I've also got some place that you can farm sea pickles, place for the glow lichen, and a place for the hanging moss right over here. You know. I tried to fill in anywhere that didn't really have anything with like some type of gardening, but if I wanted to go over every inch of my base like that, it would take me another month and a half, and I'd really like to see the map updated. So that's why we're doing it like this. I said I gotta call a line. I gotta call it because it's getting long in the tooth. I told the guys the servers like, oh yeah, and I'll be done in May, and then I got laid off. It was not a good scene. And it's been kind of busy trying to find other work, and instead of working on this, but you know, you find time to do the things you like. If it's a hobby, you don't stop doing it just because you have life getting in the way. You got a little pig area here, so I've got all the types of pigs. So I've got all those. And then I put in a little pond back here because I thought that'd look nice. You know, same with over here. That's technically off my base. Anything on the other side of these is not my base. But I figured, hey, you know, this is a little low area. A nice little pond would go amiss. It's attached to my base, so I gave it a dispensation. That's my ink farm, or rather the server's ink farm I built, but it is near my base, but I make no claim to it. This is the eastern dock, by the way. This is where, well, first of all, you can get across the river and over onto the side, but it's also a portage for anybody coming up the river from that direction. Entomo's base is over there. This is supposed to be sort of a barbecue, grilling, lounge area, but I never finished it. Instead, we have a little place to hang out, like a campground. So that's fun. Not very secure, but it's fun. And keep in mind it's getting late, so I'm trying to speed run through all this. Interesting stuff. These are my growing platforms for the various nether and end type stuff, and it's got its auto flush system. So if I cut this down, I cut this down, and then I hit that flush system, it's going to clear out everything, and then they're going to go around, down through, and end up in these houses here. This is the gunpowder farm that is ridiculously powerful. It produces so much gunpowder, it's not even funny. That's just a dent. This actually goes down further. I got another entire level of this chest. Look at this. Look at this. I cleaned this out a week ago. It's already filling up again. It's craziness, man. It's craziness. Yeah, like as I said, I think if I had to do this again, I'd only do maybe 3 tops. The extra 2 they're too much. They're just too much. It's part of my commitment to have as much stuff in the base for people to actually be able to use. I also built myself glowberry arbors. I bought myself hanging vine arbors. Excuse me a second. Put in an extra entrance to my villager hall, which I can take you down and show. This wonderful design is by Avomance, and it auto crafts the kelp that comes in. I find that to be quite delightful. I don't know about you, but I do. We got ourselves the twisted vines and the warp vines. We got a disc farm here. Basically, you collect yourself some of the creepies out here, and then you lure them in on this corner over here. I run through there, close that, and then the creeper has no choice but to come down here to get me, but he lands on the pressure plate, which raises the oh hi, I guess it's time for me to go find a bed. Raises the basalt, and then they get caught, and then all I have to do is stand in front of where the zombie is. I mean, not the zombie, the creeper is, in between me and the skeleton, and it'll shoot the creepers at me, hopefully. And then all I have to do is collect the disc, because technically a skeleton shot a creeper. You are gonna turn into yeah, I don't have anything to fight him with. And he's turned into a drowned. Alright. Anyway. Part of it was I also wanted to have a horse track, and I finally got around to breeding horses, so I have the best horse. And so I put in like little concession areas and viewing platforms everywhere. So like, there's another concession and viewing platform over here. But I also sometimes just built on vibes, total just vibes. Like this one here, this is based on Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. Just was really inspired to build a statue that day. And I got bee farms for the wax and the honey, and I got wheat farms, and I got clay farms, and convert mud and pumpkins and stuff. And down here we got ourselves a spider farm. Now this spider farm I gotta talk about a little bit, because I figured out a way to make a spider farm that doesn't have spiders crowding on the roof. It involves powdered snow. See, with the spiders, and every time I've come down here to try and show this off, it's demonstrated for me. You get spiders, you have the spawn room, what happens? The spiders will say, oh, I don't want to go in the hole and go die, I want to go up a wall and hang out up there. And then your spider farm clogs up full of junk. Oh, as you can see, we do get spider jockeys from time to time. Anyway. So what they'll try and do is they'll try to climb the walls, and that's no bueno. So I dissuade them from doing that. So if they try climbing the walls, the snow will freeze them, and then they will die. They will be unalived. all the wonderful stuff. And we already have a problem, you see. Oh, which one is it? Oh, it is. There. Occasionally, I get spider jackies, so sometimes I gotta clear it out. Did he drop his good stuff? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I don't need to dig around here. I've got places and things to do. Hopefully we can make this an even shorter video. I built these tunnels so that I could get from one side of my base to the other when I came out of the nether and it was night. I didn't want phantoms attacking me because usually in the nether I'm AFKing somewhere. And then I'll come out and, oh, hey, look, it's nighttime, and that's not good. I don't want to get dive bombed by the undead little bats. So I built this tunnel system to get me over to my house really quickly from the portal room. But yeah, no, I made all of these guys, so they're all rolled up. Now, these aren't every enchant. Like, Mist have some glaring holes, but you can cobble together something from what I have here. I have enough books. I have enough stuff that if you wanted to, you could. And over here we've got our cartographers, because they actually still do the good glass trade. We got a couple of clerics. Notice they're from different tribes. I don't know how I managed that, but I did. So, cool beans, I guess. Anyway, they sell stuff I use, so I'm pretty happy about that. But how do you get your emeralds? Well, on the other end down here, I have more farmers, and these guys do all kinds of farming. I come in here and I can sell the pumpkins and the melons. I get lots and lots of the emeralds, and it's great. It's fantastic. Excuse me. All the way over here, I also built up a horse breeding testing area too, so I can test for speed and jump height. So this is the speed run. Here we go. And that's just you tripwire this hook that allows stuff in this hopper here to fall down into that minecart over there, right there. And the speed at which it does so determines the speed of the horse. Because when you get to the other end of the course, you're the other end of that little drag strip, you will observe that I have yet another set of tripwire hooks. That causes that to toggle, and basically it locks the hopper so that nothing can go through it. Then you go over and you see how many sticks that you used, and the lower the number, the better. Over here we got ourselves a little jump height tester. As you can see, I base on grades. And the best horse should be able to clear this 5 meter one right here with a vertical jump. And I happen to have one who will do it. I have two, actually. On the other side of my base, which I can get to, that's totally a thing I can do. Alright. We got the sniffer paddock over here. This is just where they get the torchflower seeds, and they get the little pitcher plant rhizomes or whatever they're called. I can't remember. We have a custom biome. This is part of the horse track. That's the entrance to my base from the server side. Anything that way. I'm farthest north, so this is like the end of the line. But when you do get here, you have the option to duck in here if it's night. And yeah, I didn't bring a bed, but you know, you can plump one down wherever you want. This is before cushions are added, so that's why I still have the old-fashioned look. I think it looks nice. Just saying. A banqueting hall on the second floor, and up here we've got concert venue. Over here, this is just a one of the things that they have. The one Trader does is this micro block. This I think is polished deep slate. I think it makes a really good, really good mic stand. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, I did not see the laughing donkey. Alright, well, I'm actually starting to kind of get a little loopy and tired here, so I'll talk about my design process here. I decided I like to have this orb kind of look, and so I wanted to bring that in other areas of my base too. So that's why you see it over there. That's why you see it over there. It adds a cohesiveness to the theme of the base, and it's not lacking anywhere. That's what I like about it. Is you say, oh, okay, look at this. It's clearly related to this, and you got other things. And I try to draw those similar build styles into the map making process. So that's how I ended up having this whole season. Just kind of came together organically because I had picked my designs ahead of time, which was super useful. Anyway, so I do the sugarcane. I do a wide variety of vegetables. I can obviously get you hooked up with any of the nether stuff or the end stuff. Trying to think. Yeah, I think that's about it. There's not much else I could show you. I was gonna show you some of the statues, but anyway, so yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I gotta go to bed. Sorry. But yeah, do give it a thought. Do give it a thought to come in and join us on our server. We really worked hard to build a community, and some of them have decided to take a more quiet, I think is the best word, a quiet partnership in the running the server. They're just the people who founded it, and they're still whitelisted, but they do their own thing now. So yeah, but if they come over to where our buffet is, they're gonna want to eat. So you know, I'm beginning to ramble. I'm tired and I can't think straight. All right, we're gonna call this a day. Thanks for watching. Yep, and I'll see you guys later.